All right, so let's go over this update, and we're also going to build in public a little bit today. So, main reason for this video is I have an update on my March to Startup. Previously, I wasn't really sure what approach to take. I have student loans to pay, have rent, and yeah, I just wasn't sure. So I was thinking between freelancing, going into industry, just exhaust my runway and try to make something big before then in the next like 6 months. But yeah, we talked with my wife and finally came to the decision that we're gonna move in with her parents, and then I don't have to deal with rent. I have enough in, I guess, assets to pay for loans. Well, I don't have to pay for loans for the next like for the 6 months after I graduate, and then I have enough to pay loans for like another 6 to 10 months after those 6 months are up. So I have like a year of runway at least. And so considering that, I think the approach I'm gonna take is, okay, so actually let me go here to this roadmap. So this is my sort of updated roadmap. Started off with I need to manage projects, I need to be organized in what I'm doing, I need to essentially know where all my files are also on my computer and be productive and efficient. After that, I care about like security, so just step up my security a little bit. And then after that, this I actually would have done a lot later in retrospect. But creating my company, I created an LLC. It's registered, but there's still a lot of tax and legal stuff that I don't know about that I need to set up, and also need to look for a bank account. And so yeah, I need to I need to deal with that at some point. In retrospect, I probably would have started a company after I did my learning, which I'll get into. And so yeah, created my company, and now setting up my foundation and setting up my foundation in the sense of health is important, and I have really high blood pressure, so need to come up with a schedule to make sure I get enough nutrition, to make sure I get enough exercise, and make sure I deal with stress, so that sort of thing. And then also came up with a plan for my wife's finances. I need to account for my finances now, given the changes that have perspired, not perspired, that have occurred. Yeah. So that's basically just building up to starting up. And in my previous plan, it was, so now that once I set up a business, it was build a portfolio, freelance, but also in the process of building that portfolio, use the projects I'm building for the portfolio to sell, to get familiar with the process, and to start to make money. And then on top of that, continue to learn. So this is, for example, looking for projects that I can disrupt once I sort of refine my skills a little bit more and know that I can act on any ideas. If I'm building in public and one of you thinks I have a great idea, I can imagine there's people out there that may be more experienced than me and may want to take an idea. So I want to make sure that I can outwork you and that I have more experience and more ability to some extent. I mean, not completely, but to some extent that I know it's going to be competition at least, and that you just won't run laps over me. Yeah, so that was the previous plan. It was all over the place, really. And I mean, how it had to be. Like, I didn't really have any insight into this world. And then I also had to pay rent. And so now that I am moving out, and I'm also willing to sell some of my assets, I have enough time to not have to deal with like rent or any other finances for at least a year. If we stay there for a year. Undecided at this point of how long we'll stay there. So considering that, I want to build up my knowledge with a very solid. I want to build my knowledge solidly, or I want to build a solid foundation of everything that's important, but not to the point where I'm overkilling it and I'm just like a paralysis through analysis. So, for example, what that specifically means is for building a product, there are stages. First, prototyping and design. What does prototyping and design consist of? Well, you have an idea, you need to run it through customers or users. What are their pain points? Is this addressing their issues? So just refreshing myself on that process. And so once you have an idea of what their pain points are, then you're making like a low fidelity prototype. So you're sketching, that's just drawing by hand, and then running it through them. Or maybe even you make a sketch just for yourself, and then you make a high fidelity prototype. You run the high fidelity prototype through the customers in customer discovery interviews or with like early evangelists, and then continue to refine it through interviews. And then at that point, you're ready to code. So what my journey is now going to look like is, okay, well, actually, let's go through the whole stage, all the stages of building a product. So now you're ready to code. So ideally, when you're coding, depending on how complex a project is, there's going to be lots of moving pieces, lots of different, lots of moving pieces that can change from time to time. And the best way to manage code is with like a version control software such as Git. And I know it a little bit, but not enough to like be productive. And it doesn't take that long. It doesn't have to take that long. Just like maybe like a week of learning Git, and then that's enough for me to be good. Then after that, my first sort of important skill is web development. I have no prior experience. Well, I've been taking like a Udemy course over the past 2 weeks. So I have some experience like with HTML, CSS. We haven't gotten to JavaScript yet. But now I'm putting this off to learn Figma and customer discovery. But anyways, so after that, you can code it up if it's a website using web development. So you have to use all the front end, back end, and anything else that goes into that. And then also, in parallel to a website, you can use, for example, you can use an iOS app. Have your service or your software be an iOS app or an Android app. So what this could look like for a product is, for example, let's say I have a very cool app idea. I want to get people to be aware of it, see how much interest I can bring up on the topic, on the theme. And so have a landing page. Probably just throw up a landing page on GitHub and connect. Well, actually, I don't think GitHub can connect to MailChimp, but have like a simple landing page where you can collect emails, and then start to develop your iOS app. And then at some point, maybe Android app, or do it in parallel. And then, maybe marketing and sales. That's a good thing to think about. But when you build something, then marketing and sales can be in parallel or even before. In parallel in the process of building it, and then after. But anyways, after that, I want to learn enough marketing and sales to be able to market and sell whatever applications I'm learning, and then after that, just off to the races, come up with ideas that I can use all these skills and actually work on things that I want to work on. So going back over it, what does my journey look like for me? So prototyping and design. This is going to be my first focus. Previously, I was like, I'm going to learn websites, going to refresh my iOS skills, and then in the future, learn Android. Future would be like in April. So like 1-2 months from now. But now I want to really just build a solid foundation from the start of building, of like the product development process. So what's that gonna look like? It's gonna look like Figma for the next 2 or 3 weeks, where I'm learning, and I'm gonna use my skills to develop my website, improve my website, or develop a mock-up of my website. And then when I'm ready to code it, I'm gonna learn Git. So this is gonna be about a week. Actually, I should write this. 2 to 3 weeks. Git is going to take about a week. Then I have an idea for my own website. And when I say my own website, it's franciscomonroy.xyz. So for this blog, for this journey, I want a website that I can share everything I'm learning. It'll make it a lot easier to follow for anyone watching, because 2-hour videos are difficult to follow. So I'm just going to summarize all my learnings and everything else on my website. And then learning web development. So that's talking about like HTML, CSS, JavaScript for the front end, back end. Probably looking at like Firebase. I know Firebase to some extent. I don't know if we're going to look at AWS, and then other like APIs like MailChimp to collect emails, which should be simple enough. Maybe Stripe for payment integration, authentication, that sort of thing. So just having like knowing like the 80% of the 20%, like the most important things to be able to start up a startup. And with these skills, I'm going to refine my website and then close off previous topics that I worked on. So I previously worked on my project management, which actually I show here as being all checked off, but I did say I would come back to it and just refine it. So refine that. That's probably going to that's probably going to take me like, all of these would probably going to take me like a week, because I do want to make YouTube videos on them, but I do want the videos to be quick. So maybe just a day, make like a outline, not a script, knock them out. Yeah. So that's going to take about a week, close off all these different topics, and my project management, computer organization, just make sure it's fine, which it has been so far. Computer security, there's some things I didn't implement that I do want to implement, such as file encryption, locally encrypting my files before they're being backed up, and that sort of thing. And yeah, at that point, I'm done with web development. I can refresh my iOS development skills. Took a very useful course, so just refresh what I learned there and then use it to build like a dumb app that is good enough to be published, but it's dumb like in the sense that I don't care if anyone takes it while I'm building it, because it's low, what's the word? Low invest. Yeah, I'm not as invested in it. And then at that point, I need to register my company. I need to. So I need to figure out company stuff. Oh yeah, register. So register an iOS thing account for my company. And yeah, then learn Android app development. Okay, so almost forgetting this. So this should take about 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, because if I'm recapping previous projects, maybe I should adjust some of them, make them my own, and add it to my portfolio, add it to my website. Yeah. And then Android app development. I don't know how long that will take, but let's say 4 to 8 weeks. So we're looking at, this is 1 month, 3, 4, 5, 6 months so far. And then once I do that, I want to spend like 2 to 3 weeks refining my marketing and sales skills. And then after that, it's just off to the races. Like, there is no timeline. It's just, I'm building. 6 months. So we're looking at so we have all of March, April, May, June, July, August, finished by end of August. Oh man, kind of a bit of a long journey, but if I'm building very solid skills, and basically means I can work on any idea I want, just like that. Don't need to like learn as I'm going as much. It'll make me so much faster, because the thing is, I think where the learning should come in is on the idea you're working on. Because okay, so let me put you on game. There is a, let's see, driving lesson. And let me pull up. Here we go. Driving, let's see. Driving, what's principle, maybe? So ideally, the driving principle that I'm not communicating here is I am taking a working backwards approach. Now, granted, okay, so let me first explain this. Now, I may not be completely working backwards because I don't necessarily have a problem that I'm working backwards from, but I'm sort of considering all problems and having a general skill set that applies to all of them. But anyways, if you're not familiar, Jeff Bezos, one of sort of the driving principles of how Amazon approaches problems is they're working backwards. So what do customers, what are their pain points? What do they need that would improve their lives? And then what can we build, what needs to be built for them to address that problem? Regardless of what we know, what we don't know, maybe even where technology's at, what do they need and how can we work towards that? That's in comparison to what skills do I have? Okay, now what problems can I address with these skills? The second one, the latter, is limited. You're not essentially starting with the customer problems first. You're starting with you. What skills do you have? And you're almost limited in what you're willing to learn and that sort of thing. Yeah. Approach. So what I'm saying is I don't have skills in these areas. I've done some customer discovery interviews, and I can sketch, but how can I sort of translate these problems into like a mock-up for a application or for a website? That's something that I don't have, and since I'm going to be the one building these apps, building these websites, I need that skill. And then and so for websites, I need to build landing pages. It's even easier to develop a website and access a lot more people than it is to build an iOS app or an Android app that may be limited, because with websites you can be used on phones, you can be used on computers. Applications are specific to phones. And if you're like me, you try to avoid your phone. So there's limited apps that I would pay for. So yeah, website for me seemed like a more important skill to learn. So those are two very important skills that I was like, I need to know enough to be dangerous, to be quick, and develop things as soon as I get the idea, the opportunity shows up, I need to build it. So these were two important skills. And then these, let's see, refreshing iOS, that's not bad. Now in the future, whether I learn Android or maybe just start building after iOS, or, okay, after iOS, still there's marketing and sales. I'm more of like a introvert, a builder. Yeah, introvert builder. Like, I wouldn't say nerd. Well, nerd. Yeah, I love to learn stuff, but that can be like in any area. Like a nerd now doesn't necessarily mean what it used to mean, because I can outrun you, probably fight you in a boxing match. So it doesn't mean what it used to mean. But anyways, that's beside the point. That's too cocky. Marketing, sales, I need to learn that. I need to learn how I'm going to sell this, because once I have something, no one's just going to be like, oh, I'm interested, when I don't even know about you. You have a small channel, like, how are they even going to hear about it? There's thousands, millions of other apps, thousands, hundreds of thousands of other YouTube channels. Like, it's very hard to get attention. So marketing, sales is also very important. So the only questionable ones are iOS app development, Android app development. But even then, the plan is solid. Like, we need these skills to be able to develop or solve problems that we're going to work on. And then at some point in the future, let's say maybe we want to include like learn CAD tools. Now this is unknown. I feel like in the future, depending on how successful these are, which I think they will be, I might not need to learn physical product design myself. Like, at that point, I can hire people, just be the CEO, oversee it, make sure that it's done well. But at that point, I'll be able to hire other engineers. Yeah, because I don't have CAD skills, but I come from like an embedded systems background, computer vision, machine learning, so I could have started with physical product design, probably done like Kickstarter and other stuff like that, but managing the logistics, the supply chain, all the capital that's involved with that just seems like a lot harder to get it going than with software. However, there are more barriers to entry, so maybe I chose the wrong. Yeah, but there is more capital that you need. I don't know. Something that I'll always puzzle over in my future. But anyways, I'm going to take a break, make sure that I'm get back on track, and then we'll start building. Okay. So now that I had time to recollect, basically it is what I just said. My goal is to learn the things I need to learn that basically follow the process of going from an idea to an actual software service product. And so it's going to be a mixture of learning, building for the next 6 months. And when I say learning and building, there is going to be a lot of learning, but I'm also going to be using what I'm learning to immediately make stuff such as my website, such as a dumb app, use a dumb app to follow the process through all the other things as well, and then start making good things that I know can actually make money. Yeah. And so what I'm going to probably do for this is all the learning that I do in a given day. For example, if I'm taking Udemy courses that I can't necessarily share, that'll be on my other screen. And what I'm building, the exercises I'm following and things that I'm doing for that course, I'll be sharing on this screen. And that'll be on my second channel, which is mostly meant for learning. This channel is meant for application, using what I'm learning and building. So when I actually build stuff, such as my website and stuff like that, that'll be on this channel. So now that we've gotten through that, the first thing that I need to focus on is making a rough website. So right now I know enough HTML, CSS to build like a decent website. The aim of it is just to track what I'm currently doing, such as this MarchToStartup, have the resources I have already, have like my roadmap on there, have like weekly updates where I'm sharing my learnings, and then also for the physical resources that I've purchased, I'll also be sharing that, because another avenue of income, my goal isn't to be like a popular YouTuber. Like, I don't want to be a content creator. So my goal isn't to make a lot in ad revenue. But what I do think will happen is, because the steps I'm doing are to improve my life, and sharing the tools and resources I use to improve that, I can imagine other people are going to want to use it. So then I'll be using affiliate links where it costs the same as if they searched it up themselves, but they can just use my link, help support the initiatives that I'm working on, the projects that I'm working on. And there is some sort of priority to this, because I need to get 3 purchases with my Amazon affiliate account before it is rendered inactive. So I need to do this quickly. That's why I'm doing this now. Also because I just want to share what I'm learning, and I would prefer to do that because otherwise website development wouldn't be until like April, which is a bit of a long way. So I plan to knock this out today, tomorrow, maybe Monday or Tuesday. And in addition to that, I just want to wrap up what I can in these initial stages. be so I can focus on my roadmap. And so what that looks like is I do need to do some research on what information I need to collect for tax purposes. What do I need to know about legal? What I need to make sure that I'm complying and have my LLC active. And then I need to set up a business account. So I'll do that all in public. And then I'm also having some slight issues adhering to my health schedule. It's a bit rigorous, and so I just need to make like a staged plan to make sure I'm following it. Exercise, I'm pretty much in compliance. Schedule is what I'm having some issues with, because as soon as I wake up, I need to wake up at a certain time. I'm not going to sleep at the right time, which is just messing up everything else. Meals, I'm still getting used to unprocessed, just like I'm not very good with spices, so it's just bland. Like I'm eating, well, my oatmeal has like okay additions like banana, protein powder makes it okay. But like for lunch, I have lentils and chicken. The chicken is it's on the blander side, and my lentils are just unspiced. And then for dinner, that's just like power greens, so like kale, spinach. I think another green, and then just tomatoes and carrots. So it's just, it's just nature's food, but I need to get used to it. Yeah, so I just need to make a plan to adhere to it better, because I can imagine it. Otherwise, I would just be stuck on this for like months, not completely adhering to it. So there might be some refinement involved. And then lastly, plan out my finances. I'll probably do that in private, but then share like a snapshot of these on my website. Yeah, and then that would enable me to focus completely on Figma customer discovery for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, and I guess I can share sort of what my plan is for that. So for Figma, have two courses that I want to follow on Udemy. These are like $15. A book is like $15, so perfect. It makes sense to just use a course, like to understand what the scope of what is out there, and to get like very guided instruction and exercises that actually lead to something. It's well worth it to spend $15 just to learn it. Now I'm still going through these, so I'm not sure if I would recommend them right now. You can see this one. I'm up to section 5, but even now I'm still wondering if it's good. Started looking at this one. This one's like section 1 or 2, so I haven't really gone through that. And then I also want to learn some graphic design. This is like 10 hours, so that's not that bad. I can knock it out in like 2 or 3 days. And then there's this YouTube tutorial, 10 hours. I don't want to cover this right now because it's $50 per month. And each course has like 20 hours, so that would probably take me like, let's say, 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's 7 times 2, 14 weeks. Yeah, that's like 4 months. Oh wow. Yeah, so eventually I might want to come back to this. But in lieu of that, there is this YouTube, what do you call it? Like, it seems more condensed, but it's the same version, or from the same people. It's Google. And then there's another free code camp tutorial. And then this iOS one had app design section, which was 3 hours. So yeah, lots of things, lots of resources that I'm going to cover for this learning stage. And then I didn't show everything else, but there's also like some rapid prototyping links from Google, from other resources that I wanted to cover. Yeah, so I covered going over these to try to wrap up everything else beforehand and go into my learning. Cool. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I want to do is update my website. What my website currently looks like, and actually, so what my current website looks like is just very old school, very HTML, and that's it. So we have, I want to organize it by like the areas of effort that I'm working on. Yeah, like every person working on different things, different projects, and that's what I'm sharing essentially on my YouTube. So that's what my website's going to focus on. However, I am thinking about also adding some other things, so that's what we're going to get into. But for example, March to Startup, want to have a timeline, want to have some of the resources I'm using. March to Optimal Health, this one didn't have it, but I wanted to show also a timeline, and then some of the resources I'm using, and then some of the notes I have and learnings I have, as well as doing that for March to Startup. Probably going to remove web development and everything else, because as you can tell, I've adjusted my personal projects, what I'm focusing on, to just be Figma for now. And well, I named it Figma, but it really is also including prototyping and design. So yeah, I should rename it to be more general, but that's my main focus in occupational, and it's a subset of March to Startup. Everything else is other areas of my life that I'm working on. Yeah, so these are resources I'm going to add to the website. So how should I start this? So I have this rough website, but I want ideas. And then I have my iPad in the back. I ran like 12 miles today, so I'm just very tired. Okay, so this one's just very simple. He has a home and a newsletter. I don't really want a newsletter. My sites, and I invest in small companies. So I can imagine this is how he invests in companies through. He leads a community snowball. Seems interesting. Own a search agency. And so what I'm thinking about so far, what we're gonna have a 7 areas of wellness. Do we need like a And then what does the home page look like? So those are all the areas I got from this one, Paul Graham, who I believe is in maybe a bio. Is this a BA or A? It's an AB. Yeah, so it wasn't a lot there. He doesn't have a privacy terms. This is just a blog. Previously co-founder. Oh, okay. And then this one, let's see what he has. He has an about me. His is the first about me that actually has like a lot of information there. Recommended reading. Yeah, so his doesn't have a privacy or this is so the other ones have typically been at the at the top or the side. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah, I'm not collecting anything. We'll see. Actually, I'm not collecting anything at this point. I don't even know enough about like API to collect emails. What is this? Oh, contact. Let's see. Yeah, so all these are all over the place. There isn't really like a set way to do anything. Whoop. So everything of his is at the top. This is Mark Lewis. He's fitness. But yeah. How should I approach this? So typically, okay, so let's do a sketch. So we have logo somewhere at the top, and it's not fixed. Let's see. Yeah, not fixed. His doesn't move. His. Okay. This, if it does move. Oh. Maybe. Okay. Do we want it to move? Maybe let's do like logo and then. Oh, you can't see it. Menu items. And then this would be like the home page. Okay, so I'm just going to check with ChatGPT and see what things should I have on my website. I think I could show this actually. Hi chat, I am thinking about what menu to share. Yeah, drop down menu. Maybe a section for portfolio, because I am trying to get clients to build websites and apps, maybe initially while I'm still trying to make money. Maybe a section for portfolio, since I am willing to, while my projects are growing. I say this in the way that ChatGPT understands why I would want to accept clients, even though I still haven't built anything. And what else? Privacy and terms, because I am sharing my learnings, but I don't want people to blindly copy and then blame me for for outcomes that go for example, I am sharing how I am trying to adjust my blood pressure, but my information is not medical discretion. All right, pay home tab. Maybe I should have a blog. That's a solid list. Would all of these be in the... Okay, let's see. Great. What happened? I kind of like a menu bar because you can make it stay there. Well, I mean, even with the left sidebar, you can make it stay there. Yeah, maybe top bar makes sense. Because then you can have like drop down menus. Most websites do. Use of space, clean design. Wait, not as... Oh, gotcha. Oh, on mobile. That's true. Yeah, so let's use the top bar. Top bar because of mobile. And I don't... Well, not just because of that, but I mean, it has more positive and less cons than the other one. And then, so on the top bar... Great. And what should I have? Areas of wellness, a drop down, giving a drop down, having privacy, or not privacy, port, Got it. So now that we know that, let's update this markup or the sketch. So we have areas of wellness, which drops down to give us all 7. This itself is also clickable. So let's actually make this blue color, blue. Or maybe not even a logo. Let's just do home, areas of wellness, port, folio, contact, homepage, or, well, this is going to be an imaginary bottom, the footer. Privacy and terms. So now I need to come up with what's going to be on the home page. All of those are clickable. This is clickable. But I do need to come up with a color palette. Is it 1 or 2? Palettes. And then what design? How does it actually gonna look like? Okay, so we have, let's see. So this is going to be the home screen. Home screen, home page, but whatever. So that's home screen. And actually, let me move this down. We have, this would be area of wellness page. And this area of wellness page, we know what this does. So it's just going to be instantiated. So what does this look like? And then this is going to be followed by, or actually I have an idea. This is going to be scrollable, but what it's probably going to look like is alphabetical order, maybe. Body, mind, soul. Body, mind, soul. Body, mind, soul. Let's follow that. Body, mind, soul. So body is going to be physical, occupational. This is financial, but I follow occupational because it makes it sound as if finance is the only reason that you'd work. Occupation. And then environment, I guess. Should I do that? Because it kind of seems body. Okay, let me just stick to it. Physical, body, mind. Mind, emotional. Body, mind. I don't know where social would kind of go in there. Oh, you can't see it. So body is physical, whatever you're doing for finances and your environment. Intellectual or mind involves intellectual learning, being curious, as well as your emotions. Social is kind of like a mix of both. So you go social right there. And then spiritual last. I was reading like a Kung Fu Panda post about how the trilogy of the Kung Fu Panda movies follow body, mind, soul, which I thought was really interesting. It makes me want to rewatch the first two. But I think that's the battle a lot of people go in, and a lot of us don't get to go past body because of how difficult it can be in the circumstances of the world. But also, it's very doable. Although I'm still in a work in process, I'm in the process of figuring out my nutrition, making sure I exercise, making sure I sleep on time. So it's very much doable. It's my laptop at 23. So physical. What I'm thinking is having these be sections. So this is going to be, cards. And then maybe like a background image. This is going to be like bold. And then like a little, like, description sentence, and then background's going to be and then here what I'm wondering is if this should be slideshow. Should I do a collage? Should I just do one image? So, great. Again, why I could never stream because of everything I show. So I need to think about that. And then just do the same for all the other ones. And then just have those there. And then each of these goes into its own page. Wait. Yeah, so the thing that I just thought about was, if it's a card, then what does this look like? Because each area has different projects. Do I want the card to then take me to another page that has these listed? Yeah, I suppose. Because then the alternative would be to try to have the card, and then somehow talk about each of the projects in each area in that card. Yeah, maybe not. So what would this look like then? Why did I use eraser actually? How would this look? Do I want like physical? Area here, and then, or is it centered? And then cards for each. Oh, maybe this is like, no, courses, tips. Yeah, so this would be like the name of the area, maybe like a few sentences, and then cards for each different project I'm on. How would I demonstrate the projects? So nice. That actually seems useful. So maybe project. And then maybe like, I'm still thinking this through. A few images. similar to, I think Mark had something like this. Home. Yeah, maybe not quite like this, but like, so this would be like the project name, brief description here, like a paragraph at the top, and then images below it. Or even like this, a project name, paragraph to the left, and then images on the right. Yeah, so I need to think about that. And then the individual links take me to the individual pages. And then I need a page for portfolio and a page for contact. Copy, paste. Or template, or class. I don't know the right name for it. We'll say class because there can be instances of a class. Portfolio, and then the next one would be contacts. Yeah. There are some things I want to consider when developing this. So I mentioned two of these already, and I'm kind of starting to get at design, so we'll need a color palette for it, but I do need to refine the design. And then something else I want is made spell embed made by Francisco into code. Because I know some of you are smart enough to look for that. And you watching, that's fair. You get a freebie. You can use this for your own portfolio or whatever you're working on. But other people that I know didn't spend time watching this video, they're just going to copy it. They probably won't look for that, so I'll have like code saying this website template was made, or this website was made by me, so that if they're trying to show it off, people inspecting their website can see that they didn't make it themselves. So now what I want to look up is contact pages. Contact pages, portfolio pages, area of wellness. I'll come back to homepage. Area wellness is kind of have an idea. Area info page is something that I'm still considering. I think maybe we'll try out different things. This is where Figma would come in handy, because knowing Figma, I could probably, if I knew Figma well enough, which is what I'm trying to do, I could probably make a high fidelity design within like an hour. But instead, since I don't know Figma, I'm wondering whether I should try to use Figma and probably stumble on the different aspects. And at that point, it might take me as long to actually make it on the website. Let's see. It might take me about as long to make it on the website without using Figma. But for more complex projects, Figma would ideally be a better step, because it would save me more time in the design process, figuring out what text, how I want things to look. Yeah, so I need to consider whether I want to use Figma, because I don't know it at all to actually make this. Now for portfolio page, contact page. Let's do contact page first, because lots of other examples I saw had contact on there. Contact. That's funny. Yeah, so for contact, probably just make it simple. Have oh I don't, my brain is not functioning. And then probably follow some of these. So, like, if you're interested following along, have like links, social media, Instagram, and whatever. If you want me to work for you, I need to come up with the process. And rates. I should actually probably mention rates. If you want to Honda Civic. Discord community. Maybe like Patreon, or this is undecided. Maybe in the future. / paid meets meeting. Yeah, so what are all the different use cases? If you want me to work for you is there. Following the journey is there. If you want advice, Discord community. Actually, let's maybe do a Reddit. Discord community or paid meeting. I like that. But I do need to adjust this. And then maybe at some point, I'll charge for admission into the Discord. Now for the portfolio page, here I need to look up examples. What is this? So I was gonna look up portfolios, but I realized this is actually gonna show me people and their portfolios. So it's gonna show my LinkedIn now. I'll just not share this while I look around. Okay, so it did have good examples. Okay, examples. Actually, okay, so I found the video I was looking for. This guy reviews people's portfolios, and this one that he reviewed was actually pretty slick. So, what's it called? Stefan. Great. So we have some examples. Let's start off with Stefan. His is a lot more solid. We have. So I'll look at mine on my iPad. You probably won't be able to see it, but I'll just be talking about points. So his home is here. His about. Oh, okay. So his is by sections, all on one page. So these aren't clickable. They just mention what his tech stack is. So in my portfolio, what I am thinking of doing is so at the top, maybe having like tech stack or skills. So then this would be like, let's say Figma, and then like a space or a dash, customer discovery, a dash, and then HTML, then a dash, CSS, a dash, and so on. So this is what I'm mentioning, what I'm talking about. And they can click on this. So these are links. So let's actually make this blue. Those are links that then take them to each section. So let's say it says actually maybe not to each section. I want to do it based on project. Okay, let's look at examples. So first I was thinking we could either be, I'll just mention this before we go into examples, by skill, or if it was by projects, this I could see it being like, let's say wound care research, so what I did for my personal, or no, for my academic research, I would mention like this sentence, description, and then skills, or depending on design, either bubbles or like I had it here. And so if they click on this, how should I do this? Because then if I do by projects, these won't be clickable. But if I do by skill, these are clickable. It's a good conundrum. Projects. Huh. Oh. I think he used to have a better website. Yeah. So then for my own website, it would be, yeah, so he has kind of like, I don't know if these are bubbles or, no, it's just text. And then it would be like code or live. Live demo or site if it's a website. And then, okay, I kind of made this spaced out, but it would in actuality be like he showed. Either image or I'm either between this or like a image. And then this part is just whited out. So it'd be like two divs or a div. Opaque, not a white background. But it would be white. So I'll just leave it like that. I understand, and that's enough. Okay, so his is by project. Hers is about skills. Oh, okay, hers is all on one page as well. What's this calendar? Calendly, 30 minutes. What's this do? Oh, what you just, I would not make my calendar that available. Friend as a competitive figure skater. Her tech stack. SAS. I keep seeing SAS. What would be my tech stack? Or my skills. I like skills more broadly. Because I'm more of an electrical engineer, so I do have other skills. But just using them to be impressive, not that I would actually use them. My skills. are, let's see. I kind of want to put based on how much experience I have. Yeah, hers aren't clickable, so I kind of want to have like what projects for each. Yeah, I'll think about it. Because I really want to make these clickable, and then they can see what specific projects apply, so that they can judge themselves on how much experience I have. So I have HTML, CSS, iOS, and then I'm gonna work on Git. Yeah, I'll just have Git, and then Firebase, I guess, to some extent. Customer discovery. Command line. Unix/Linux. Python. C++. Machine learning. What else? So, let's see. What did I study in school and what did I actually use? In school, circuits. Should I write those? Because I did have circuits. I'll draw a line because I don't know if I want to mention these. Embedded systems. VLSI. VLSI within computer architecture. Maybe I'll have like outdated skills. Assembly. And then we had cadence. I think it was like 90. It was either 46 or 98 nanometers. And circuits, embedded systems, VLSI, computer architecture. I need to look at my transcript actually. I'm gonna pause it. So I'm definitely not going to show this, but at one point did accounting, financial reporting, managerial accounting. Those are way too outdated. Algebra with business application, business calculus, introduction to law, politics, statistical methods, chemistry, that was so long ago. Calculus. Yeah, I don't know if calculus is a good one. Physics, differential equations. Yeah, way too long ago. Not enough application. Maybe linear algebra. Probability and statistics. Oh, and these aren't actually outdated. These are a little bit more recent. But I should recap them so I don't forget. And then we have, so when I did EE, that was circuits. Signal processing was, no, that was way too far back. Circuit theory is more in my mind than signal processing. Computer architecture, applied electromagnetics, embedded systems, probability statistics, data structures and algorithms. Should I write that? No, I need to recap on that. Linear integrated circuits, intro to VLSI, embedded systems, capstone, VLSI 2, integrated systems, digital design. Digital design. Maybe that's a good. Actually, maybe I shouldn't put circuits. Embedded systems is more of what I did. But I never really got into like developing my own circuits. But I understood circuits. I just never made them. Okay, so I'll keep circuits. I understood it enough, but I just never made them. Probability, random processes, yeah. Math foundations, that was linear algebra. Stochastic processes, statistical learning, that was machine learning. Computer vision. Advanced embedded system design. Internship, which was NVIDIA. NVIDIA. I use Python, C++, VLSI, unsupervised machine learning, command line. I think command line. Yeah. And had a thesis. So these are all the skills I have. Oh, and then I'm also working on Figma. But the ones that I'm working on, I think I'll kind of have like a little section. JavaScript. So in the future, what do I plan for? REST. Or should I mention REST? I don't even know if that's... What did this guy have? He had JavaScript, React, Tailwind, Sass. Yeah, I don't know my tech stack yet. Is it Sass or SCSS? I don't even know. Maybe I should have a... No, I don't want people to spam me. Or... Yeah, I think I actually should have an email. But if people try to email for questions other than hiring me, I'm just not going to respond. And then at the end... Yeah, but right now I don't have a... Let's get in touch. How should I do this? How should I do this? So for mine, I'd say hire me. Or, okay, so preference. So these are things I need to define a little bit more. There are certain projects I want to work on and certain projects I no longer want to work on. Machine learning, I'm considering it, but I really want to develop my skills to get passive income. As soon as I develop those skills, I'm more open to machine learning opportunity. Yeah, I am more open to learning machine learning again, developing projects, possibly having startups with machine learning. But right now, these are the core skills that I need to get anything off the ground and develop that passive income that's going to allow me to pursue other things, allow me the freedom. Yeah. And then I no longer want projects in circuits or embedded systems or VLSI, digital design. Digital design. Digital design to some extent is used like in iOS application, I would say, Android development with the sensors in the phone, but I mean not as much. So I just want to clarify which projects I'm willing to work on and typically what my rate is. My rate may vary depending on what skills, because some skills are a lot stronger than others. Tech stack or skills. So based on the there's only 2 so far, but based on these other ones as well, it seems like it's funny. These people that I assume took the same boot camp. Yeah, they did take the same boot camp. But these people, they basically all have the same skills. And it would show you that they're more interested in learning if they had like a few other skills that the other people in their cohort didn't have. Yeah, so they all have that. I'll have it by projects. So I'll probably have it by project. But I am thinking about maybe filtering. Yeah, so maybe something like filter. Do any So this might actually require some JavaScript. So JavaScript will be, I'm okay with JavaScript as long as ChatGPT can help me at this point. In the future, once I know more JavaScript and can incorporate APIs, I'll probably have like forms, email, newsletter, or mailing list. But for now, I'll use ChatGPT with JavaScript for any of these other skills for any of this implementation that I'm not familiar with. Yeah, so I think I'll call it a day. Getting very tired. Only had 4 hours of sleep last night. We ran 12 miles today. Just a very exhausting day. So tomorrow, need to decide what's on my homepage. So that would be my first priority. And I want to decide what this will look like. Then I need to decide what this is going to do. Then decide this. Then yeah, so that'll translate to this. And then I do want to think about this. 4, this would be 5. This would be 4. And I think that would take care. Yeah, so yeah, when I think about this, I want to think about the design. I was at 5, I believe, so this would be 6. Design is included. And then this would be last, like, while I'm coding. So tomorrow, plan is to think about these things that I mentioned. And once I have a clear enough vision, having high fidelity prototype that I sketch out, it'll be sketched out, but I can envision what it'll look like. Yeah, that's what I currently have. And then I also got to think about for each project itself what the page looks like. So there's maybe going to take a little bit longer than I anticipated, but we'll start coding. Where am I? Oh. And yeah, I guess I don't have any other notes. All right. See y'all tomorrow.